Welcome to Simply Joy by Kristen. I'm Kristen, and I'm so glad you are here. We're in the Creative Haven today. I call it the Haven, but I am so glad you are here. It's been a little bit since I've been here. I think June. I missed both of my videos in July, and I'm so sorry about that. And a lot has happened. I'm going to fill you in with some of it, and some of it's just personal life, that things have happened. But we are ready to rock and roll, or at least I'm hoping we are. I'm going to share two projects that I created just for me. Fun little story. I bought the supplies around my birthday in March, and I meant to make them for me at that time. Well, fast forward, they still weren't done. And so I decided, because I just hit my 1 year on YouTube at the end of July. So even though I didn't get to do it for my birthday, they still represent that, but I'm doing it on my YouTube birthday. Oh well. Anyways, I'm so excited to share them with you. I also did a mad organization of my haven, my creative space. I have some final touches to do, but I am loving it. It took a long time though, like a really long time. And now I am starting to get ready for the craft show season, the holiday season. I have projects already going this week for that, so maybe I'll even give you a sneak peek of that. But let's get started. How darling are these miniatures? So last summer I was in Georgia and met my friend Heather in person. Whoop whoop. But her daughter loves dollhouses, and they're redoing a dollhouse, and I think that just made me fall in love with miniatures all over again. And I think that's why this project happened, now that I think of it. But anyways, aren't these the cutest? I found them at Hobby Lobby, and I knew I needed a critter to go with them. And I remember seeing these at Michael's and always wanted a reason to buy them. And so then I was like, oh, let's buy them. Spoiler alert, I didn't even use them. But you know what? Now they're in my stash, and they'll be in another project. I love how this turned out. I think the doily was perfect. This time I glued it down. I feel like it looks more like a tablecloth that way. It is off-centered, but you know what? That's okay. That is okay. Now we get to add all the cuteness. Do you ever think that maybe a project was meant to be created at the time it was created, even though that wasn't the time you planned? Did I just make sense? I don't know. I meant for this project to be created this spring for my birthday, but it didn't happen. But if I had done it, I wouldn't have found the critters that I ended up using. When we were on our trip this summer, we stopped at the Factory Antique Mall, and one of my favorite booths was the Ivy Mercantile, and I found little critters in there, and I used 3 of them. I'm going to tell you right now, I kind of wish I would have bought more because they're so cute. So did I make the right call? Were these the perfect fit over the wood ones from Michael's? I think it was. I think this project was meant to be created now. How sweet is this? It's so cute, and I haven't even added the critters yet. Oh my goodness. Oh, I love this. I love this. I love this. Between using a spool, a tart tin, a doily, like, oh, this is so cute. And even though the colors are a little brighter than I maybe would go for, I think it's going to turn out darling. Stay tuned for the final reveal. I'll be adding some little critters and floral. This is a safe space, right? No judgment zone. We all have those creative disasters sometimes, right? Now, this got a little bit more out of control than normal. This is bad. This is really bad. This is like the peak of badness, if you get what I'm saying. And I knew I needed to tackle it. I looked at the calendar, trying to map out like when will it work between all of life's events. And guess what? There really wasn't a good time. So I just had to start. And I had to start somewhere. And it wasn't fun. It was a lot of work, a lot of emotions, but I did it. So I still have more areas to do, and I'm going to do it one step at a time. So hopefully this will encourage you to also go out there and tackle it. I absolutely adore how this turned out, this little birthday miniature scene. One year on YouTube. How surreal is that? I don't know. It's kind of mind-blowing. I was terrified to get started on YouTube, and I had been nudged and nudged and nudged, and I resisted and said no, not for me. I knew it was a lot of work. I wasn't great at editing, and one day I just decided to do it. Just one day. And wow. Wow, what an adventure it has been. What a roller coaster ride. And I'm really excited what my future holds here on YouTube. And just thank you for being here. Here are some of my favorites that I've created. But again, there was too many to share them all. Time for miniature number 2. If you're going to do your birthday right, you need 2 miniatures, not just one. I am going to put a disclaimer out there. This one was a splurge. Like, this was pricey to make. But you know what? It's okay. I don't do it all the time, and this one was just for me. So how it happened was that I had been at Hobby Lobby. I bought those cute little miniatures of the plates and the birthday cake. And then I decided to go get those wood critters at Michael's, which I didn't use. But I went there and I saw the felted bunny and umbrella. And then I was like, oh, I really wanted that miniature art set at Hobby Lobby, but I didn't have a reason for it. But now I do. So I went from Hobby Lobby to Michael's to Hobby Lobby. Yes, I know, crazy. And then we went out for my birthday dinner, lunch. I think it was a brunch at one of my very favorite places. It was Terrain Cafe. And if you know, you know, like I've already put pictures here and there when we go there. But they have these beautiful metal flowers, and I always look at them and always want them. Well, this time around, I was looking at them and I saw the mushrooms, and I was like, oh, that would look so cute on my little miniature with the bunny and stuff. And so I splurged. But what a fun memory that all of this encompasses. But I hope you enjoy this little miniature as much as I did. So I painted it and I glued it on, and I was trying to rearrange it, and this one just was so big and bulky that it wasn't working, so I cut it off. And then I thought about putting it at the bottom, but because of the mushroom cap, it just is not gonna fit on there. But I do think I made the right choice. I think that was a good balance. So when you're in the middle of it, the thick of organizing, it is overwhelming, it is chaotic. You wonder, am I ever going to get through it? They always say it looks worse before it gets better, which is so true. But the thing is, at least for me, it was my creative space, and it was very emotional. It was very emotional to go through, to let go. It was quite the process. So one thing that did help me was I did share my stash. I did gift a lot of it to fellow vendors at the shop, and that really did help. And I knew in the end this was going to help my creativity. So if you would like to know more, drop it in the comments, and maybe I will just do one video on my organization process, and maybe some of what I learned while I did it will help you. So again, if it's something you're interested in, let me know. Otherwise, let's get back to finishing my little miniature. I just glued a doily on top. Oh, it's so cute. Oh, love it. So these are having a little bit of a too new look, and so I'm going to try to darken them up. I'm going to try the Antiquing Wax from Waverly first. If not, I will go to Plan B, which I don't know what Plan B is yet, but I'll go to Plan B. As I was assembling and finishing this cute little miniature, I was very intentional on some of the details. For example, to bring balance to the piece, I felt that the bunny needed a little bow, so I used the same ribbon to tie the mushrooms around as I did on the bunny. So I just felt like that tied it in. Second, with the paint palette, I could have organized the paints by rainbow in a row, just kind of like what I would do in the Haven. However, when you're creating and when you're, in the process, things get a little jumbled, and it would provide dimension, because by laying it in a straight row, you maybe wouldn't be able to see the paint as well. And so I decided I was in the creative process and it would add dimension. Next, I changed the color red on the paint palette to Apothecary, because I love Apothecary. And I also put a little Apothecary on the tip of the paintbrush to look like I was in process, to look like I was creating. I also put the paintbrush in the left hand of the bunny. Or would it be the left foot or paw? Anyways, I put it in the left because I'm a lefty. And again, these were little details that maybe no one else would recognize, but because this piece was for me, I was very intentional on having this represent me, and I love how it turned out. Hello, friend. I'm so glad that you hung out with me today. I had such a good time and I hope you did too. The next video will be on August 15th, and I hope you'll join me again on this creative journey. Until then, I hope that this inspired you to be creative and it encouraged you to create just for you.